Hello everyone, welcome to the Commentator Ninja channel. My name is Mary, I'm the Commentator Ninja, and today, instead of packing for Worlds, which is 100% what I should be doing, I decided to film a continuation of our conversation that we started in episode 17 about sports psychology. In our last episode, we talked about self-efficacy. Self-efficacy is your belief in yourself to do a particular task within your sport. In the case of Ninja, that's your ability to do obstacles. There are 4 ways that you can build your self-efficacy. You can build your self-efficacy through mastery experiences. That means having done an obstacle or a similar obstacle before. You can do it through vicarious experiences, watching an athlete of similar skill level to you complete the obstacle. You can also build your self-efficacy through verbal persuasion, which would be a coach or a trusted family member, someone you really care about telling you, hey, I believe in you, you can do this. And finally, the 4th thing that impacts our self-efficacy is physiological states. Physiological states means how much food did you have the day before? Are you well fueled? Are you well rested? Did you drink enough water? And finally, the most pesky one of all, how nervous are you? A lot of athletes experience nerves before going and competing in a big competition. I can't really think of any big competitions we all might have coming up though. None of us like being nervous because oftentimes we feel like it's going to take away from our ability to do well on the course. But I have a secret to tell you. Nerves are not actually a bad thing. This is where you might be like, okay, Commentator Ninja, now we're headed off the deep end. You're telling me nerves are good? Let me show you this chart here. It is called Yerkes-Dodson's Law. This chart talks about the relationship between arousal, or nerves, and your performance. Putting things simply, being nervous is actually good for performance. It focuses you on the task at hand and gets your body ready for an athletic competition. When we get too far on this chart though, and we start having too many nerves, that's where it starts to negatively impact our performance. We've all had that experience where we are so anxious, so nervous about a competition, and then we do something silly like jump to a ring and completely miss it. And I bet we've all also had that experience of going up to a coach or going up to a parent and being like, oh my gosh, I'm so nervous. And the best advice they can give us is, don't be nervous. Wow, I actually never thought of trying that before. Nerves are definitely something that are tough to control, but there are actually some tools that you can use to help reduce your nerves about a competition. They are breathing exercises and visualization. Visualization is actually one of the best tools that is used by elite athletes that helps improve their competition performance. You know how you always have a better course run the second time you're running a course? You can actually trick your brain into thinking that your first course run is your second course run by using the tool of visualization. Visualization should be done in the first person perspective, meaning you should be seeing yourself going through the course and doing the obstacles. It can sometimes be helpful to mimic the movements as you are doing them. So I'm gonna reach for the ring, I'm gonna match, I'm gonna lâcher. You wanna try to see things exactly as they are in the course. How far should my next step be? How much should I throw? Where exactly am I going to grab on the cliffhangers? For some athletes, sitting down in a quiet place and closing your eyes can be very effective for visualization, but there are other ways to do this as well. You won't necessarily have the opportunity to do this at Worlds, but in a lot of other competitions, you are able to walk the course. So sometimes it can be helpful to walk through the obstacles, and as you're walking through them, see yourself doing the movements as you are going through. Visualization is so effective because it doesn't just trick our brain into thinking that we've done the obstacle before, but it also can help us anticipate areas where we might have trouble with a particular obstacle, where there might be certain things that we need to anticipate, and it also kind of guides our warm-up. So if I'm going through and I have a ton of cliffhangers in this course, I know that I need to have my fingertip strength warmed up before I go out to do it. Another practical tool, and I use this one all the time myself and also with a lot of my athletes, is box breathing. So breathing techniques, there's a whole bunch of different ones out there. If you Google them, you'll find a plethora of options. Figure out what works for you, but the one that I use a lot and the one that I coach my athletes to use a lot is called box breathing. So what you're gonna do, we're just gonna do it together here, is you're going to inhale for a 4 count. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold your breath at the top for 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're gonna exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it at the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4. Repeat that a couple of times. You'll find that your heart rate is going to come down and your body will overall feel less nervous. The last thing that I want to talk about when you are prepping yourself for a big competition, any competition really, is where is your mental focus, right? What are the stories that you are telling yourself in your head about how you are going to do? I want to share a story from regionals. I was talking to an athlete and they were really nervous about how well they were going to do because of the other people that were there. Now, for me, I'm the commentator ninja. I like to do prediction videos. I obviously love looking at a pool of athletes and picking out who's gonna do well and who is gonna excel at certain things. And I do think that it is valuable for athletes to have an understanding of how their skill level stacks up against other athletes that they're competing against. Not to compare themselves, not to say, oh, this person's way better than me, but to identify, hey, I am not as strong on cliffhangers. This is something that if I want to continue to succeed competitively, I might need to work on. But when you're at a competition, it is so important that you are not thinking about the other athletes. You know why? Because you're wasting valuable time that you could be spending preparing yourself to go and do the competition. How good another athlete is does not change your own physical ability, right? And your own physical ability is what is going to determine how you do on the course, not who else is there to compete. When you're getting ready to go out and do your course, keep your focus on your movements. Keep your focus on visualizing yourself going through the course, making sure you're fully warmed up. That is ultimately going to make you so much more successful than worrying about how good everybody else is. All right, everybody, that's it for today. Thank you so much for listening to the second little episode about sports psychology. I hope that some of these concepts I've shared can really help you have a great time down at Worlds. I will see you all there. Perhaps you will hear my voice on the mic as well. This is Mary Layton, the Commentator Ninja, signing off.